Thank you very much for staying. Welcome back to the Marketplace. The new Energy Minister, John Peter Amewu, says he has plans to focus heavily on programs that would help firmly stabilize power generation in the country. How does he intend to execute this plan after he was named as the Energy Minister in the latest ministerial reshuffle? There's more in this report.
Mr. Amewu tells Joy Business he also wants to look at reducing the cost of power generation and utility tariffs.
They need to make power more available to all citizens of this country at a more affordable price, and to make sure that the level of interruptions that results as a result of the shortfall in power supply, we should be able to minimize those frequent interruptions. Again, it's also an agenda to make sure that the rural electrification program started by the previous government should be well intensified.
The minister has also indicated he would be working to fast-track the process of exporting the excess power to neighboring countries. Mr. Amewu is moving to the Energy Ministry from the Ministry of Land and Natural Resources. This was after the substantive minister, Emmanuel Boakye-Jarko, was sacked from government. Other ministers that should be of interest to the business community are Kofi Ada, who is moving to the Aviation Ministry from the Sanitation Ministry. Former Bno Ahafo Regional Minister, Kwekwa Samoa Chireme, is heading to the Lands and Natural Resources Ministry. Cecilia Abnadapa is now the minister responsible for sanitation and water resources.
Let's stay on energy. And at the second meeting of the 16-member Joint Implementation Committee constituted by Ghana following the ITLOS ruling last year, Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire have agreed to execute the document of the maritime boundaries on the 18th of October this year. A communique was signed by Senior Minister Yao Osafo-Mafo and Adama Tungara of Cote d'Ivoire. In an interview after the meeting, Senior Minister noted the two countries have successfully agreed on their maritime boundaries and how their hydrocarbon resources could be exploited in the future.
Now, based on the ITLOS decision, we have to get the boundaries properly plotted so that we know what belongs to Ghana and what belongs to Cote d'Ivoire. ITLOS had provided the coordinates, 7 of them, and we have to put the 7 coordinates of ITLOS into a chart to get the boundary delimited. That's what we did yesterday. Luckily, we've all come to the same consensus in plotting these coordinates. So now we say that we have a maritime boundary agreed upon between Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire based on the ITLOS decision. That's very important. That's the guideline based on the ITLOS decision. Now, when you have drawn that line, there will be hydrocarbon resources which belong to the Ghana side. That's no problem. That will be exploited by Ghana. There will be other resources which may belong to the Cote d'Ivoire that belongs to Cote d'Ivoire. But don't forget, these hydrocarbons are liquid and gas. They may also strand the boundary. There will be some in this side and the same well, some on the other side. We want to have an agreement that when such a situation arises, we have to have a common basis for exploiting these hydrocarbon resources which straddles between both sides of the boundary for the benefit of Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire jointly.
All right, so we'll be certainly looking at this particular development critically in our subsequent bulletins. Now, away from that, business confidence in the local industry has increased. That's according to the Association of Ghana Industries Business Barometer report conducted for the second quarter of this year. As compared with the first quarter of the year, the business index increased to 104.8 from 100.5. According to the association, the reduction in electricity tariffs has given the industry some relief. There's more in this report.
According to findings of the report, business confidence in the local industry has increased. As compared with the first quarter of the year, the business index has surged to 104.8 compared with 100.5 in the previous quarter. The report has revealed the reduction in electricity tariffs has been a major driver for the economic growth. The AGI president, Dr. Yao Edu-Jemfi, has however indicated that despite the signs of economic recovery, the local industry is still under pressure.
The subsidy that companies are paying for residential must be taken off If that reduction can, which we don't know, PURC can give you in terms of the numbers, if that reduction is taken off and the subsidy, companies are no longer subsidizing residential tariff, then of course we'll be able to have some reduction in terms of electricity for companies. If you are buying raw materials for 4 cedis, now you are paying 4 cedis 85 pesos for $1. It's a great impact. So that means it's going to affect the cost of products. That is going to affect your local, labor costs. So all this is really something of great concern, and we are praying that this thing, as we were on negotiation with the finance minister, that things will be done to rectify this situation quickly. Otherwise, you will see the price of local goods are going to go up.
On his part, Vice President of the association, Humphrey Eyim-Dake, lauded the central bank for its quest to sanitize the banking sector.
We have not seen the anticipated rush on banks for withdrawals. That grants you that level of assurance that the public's response to these reforms, it's been well managed. So our members, as part of the general public, listening carefully to the rollout plan of the Bank of Ghana, are fully assured that the BOG is doing its communication strategies well, and we wish the BOG well on these reforms. Stated by our president, the AGI president, we are in full support of the role of BOG.
And in another development, the Association of Ghana Industries says it is still committed to establishing its own bank to facilitate easy access to credit. That's an assurance from its president, Dr. Yao Edu-Gyamfi. He says his outfit awaits final settlement of the current development in the banking sector. He spoke with Joy Business at the presentation of the AGI's Business Barometer report.
The Association of Ghana Industries, AGI, says it's still committed to establishing its own bank to facilitate access to credit, especially by SMEs. Earlier, the association hinted it had initiated the process of establishing a bank to support the local industry. Dr. Yao Edu-Gyamfi, who revealed the proposed name of the bank as Ghana Industrial Bank, says his outfit has put the process on hold, awaiting the dust to settle on the current developments in the banking sector.
AGI is working on feverishly in terms of establishing our own bank. What has happened lately has made us put something on the hold, waiting to see the aftermath when everything settles down. Then we were really talking about Ghana Industrial Bank. Ghana Industrial Bank, which will basically cater for the needs of the industries. And we're still ongoing, but we wait until the dust settles down before we move this up.
The Chamber of Commerce and Industry is also supportive of the Industry Bank. CEO of the Chamber, Mark Bedu-Abuaje, was of the opinion that the model has been a success in many other countries.
We're actually looking at how we can have very strong local banks. But in situations where some of the banks are struggling, and to the extent that some falsify their document to get licensing, then I think the Bank of Ghana came in at the right time. The reason is simple. A lot of businesses in Ghana, the SMEs, get their credit from these banks because some of them see the stock market as so huge for them to go there, or some of them also see the stock market as not well developed or acceptable to them. So most of them go to these banks for their credit. Even if they have funding, they also place it with this bank.
For now, many industry-specific banks have deviated from their course and are now doing general banking.
Now, Head of Finance at the University of Ghana Business School, Professor Godfred Bokping, is calling for full transparency and disclosure by government in the management of the Consolidated Bank Ghana. Government formed a new bank after it took over from the 5 insolvent banks on August 1. Speaking earlier on the AM show, Professor Bokping believes a full disclosure and transparency in the management of the new bank will go a long way to restore confidence in the sector.
We had a central bank that was doing its work very, very well. I mean, independent of influence from the seat of government and all of that. I mean, there will be greater information flow for which the public can take a decision and react to. We should be able to learn from our past, and government will have to come out with a clear timeline of how these things will be done, and then the necessary disclosure and the transparency, the necessary governance mechanisms will have to be put in place and complied with.
Professor Bokwin was also of the view the Bank of Ghana should equally share some of the blame for the current happenings in the sector. According to him, the central bank would have to render an apology to Ghanaians. Now, in another development, banking consultant Dr. Utue Champon is backing calls for the Institute of Chartered Accountants Ghana to investigate the role of auditors of the 5 collapsed banks. Speaking on the AM show earlier, Dr. Utue Champon believes the outcome of the inquiry by ICAG is very important.
The move that has been initiated by the ICAG, that's the Institute of Chartered Accountants Ghana, is in the right direction. And if their investigation turns out to establish that, then it will be good not only for the profession, but for the whole economy. So I think we should give them the opportunity to investigate. You know, as I said earlier, the primary responsibility is on the management in the preparation of financial statement, but the auditors also give the assurance to the shareholders that yes, we have conducted and found that everything was okay. Yes.
This is live on the marketplace now. In another story here, CEO of Max International, an industry leader in the production of wellness and weight loss supplements and products, has arrived in the country. Joseph Voitiki will be touring the nation and address the over 23,000 Max associates in the country. Now, Charles Aite was at the Kotoka International Airport to witness his arrival.
Executive Officer of Max International, in the person of Joel Voitiki. We shall be expecting him to touch down here at the Kotoka International Airport here in Accra. The questions we shall be raising with him as he arrives are the prospects of job marketing and sales marketing as well, as we have seen Max International, of course, rake in so much jobs over the past 3 years. This is one of the greatest countries on earth. I can't think of a better place to be. I love coming to Ghana. It's amazing. They should expect that we will give them our best. You know why? Because they're worth it. Every single person here is worth my best, it's worth my son's best, it's worth Max International's best, it's worth the best of any company that wants to come to this great country and do business. So you'll get our best. Talk to us about job creation. How has it been like so far for you, especially when you're hoping to expand? Well, we've created a heck of a lot of jobs. Now, when I say we, I mean all of us combined. It's not just Max International, right? It's Max International and our great associates. It's Max International and the people and customers that we serve, right? We can't do this individually. We can't do it as a single company. We have to do it as a group. We have to care about each other, we have to work together, and we have to build together. So we've paid out, I'd say in the last 3-4 years, 200 million Ghana cedis. So it's been a big success in terms of paying out commissions. But again, that happens because we work with each other. We partner together. We've gone through some tough times, we've gone through some great times, but the thing is, we do it all together. Open communication, building trust, building relationships. That's what big business, that's what good business is based upon, and that's what lasting business is based upon. What we hope to do is set an example for a lot of companies in the world to see how great this place is. Right, so that we together can build something that, look, everybody should be doing business in Ghana. People have come up to me and talked about, oh, are you worried that you're bringing competition to Ghana, to Max? You know what I say? Great. I want competition to come to Ghana because the people of Ghana deserve great business. And if we have competition that comes here, that means more jobs are being created. And if more jobs are being created, that means that we have to raise our game to serve the consumer, to serve the people of Ghana better. And then we hold other corporations and other companies accountable to say, you know what, you treat the people right. If you don't treat the people right, then they're going to work with Max. So that was the CEO of Max International on his touchdown here in Accra ahead of a nationwide tour. We talked to him about job creation and the business escape here in Ghana and the prospects therein. He's confident that doing business in Ghana is rightly in the very best interest of his company and prospective companies as well. For Joy Business, I'm Charles Aita reporting here at the Kotoka International Airport in Accra.
Now, one key feature of the Cosmos Innovation Center Agritech Challenge is the formation of groups, but finding the right partners to work with is not an easy task. On KIC Profile, teammates or team members, of course, of Soil Solutions tell us what drew them together and how they conceived a viable agribusiness concept that will enable farmers to check for nutrients in the soil.
This is the team. It's made up of myself, Dennis Apia, Edna, and Moses. Thank you very much.
Team formation is a very crucial aspect of the Cosmos Innovation Center Agritech Challenge. For Dennis, the quality of people you end up with is key in determining whether a group can survive the demanding terrain of this competition.
The biggest challenge in this KIC competition is the formation of the team. With the right team, you'd be able to progress very far in this competition. If you don't get the right team, you fail even from the beginning.
Innovators.
Dennis and Moses, who had met earlier, welcomed Edna to the group because they found her to be very competent.
Edna came in when we were going on the first market research. Fortunately, we sat close together where myself and Semisha was sitting. She was just sitting behind us. And based on that experience, both myself and Semisha realized that she's matured. That was the kind of people we're looking for in a team. So based on maturity, based on competence, based on experiences, we were able to form this team. And we have gelled from the beginning till now.
Soil Solutions is offering a simple, quick and easy way for farmers to check for nutrients in the soil. This, they say, will enable farmers improve yields.
About 90% of the farmers see the need to test their soil before planting or in the process of planting, but do not have affordable tools to test it. It's either you go to a research institute. Now you'd have to transport your sample all the way to any of these testing research institutes to be able to test your soil. So it comes with a lot of cost. And then the time factor in terms of getting your results is a lot, between 2 to 3 months before you'll be able to get your results after testing the soil. Meanwhile, by which time the planting season has already been, is already going to an end. But you need the test to be able to make an informed decision on the type of fertilizer and crop to plant. So a do-it-yourself soil test kit, we felt that it's very innovative for the farmer to be able to take a decision based on the results of the test.
Helping farmers test soil nutrients wasn't the first business concept the team came up with. A number of brainstorming sessions produced some very interesting ideas.
It was a journey.
It was a journey. We started somewhere. We had a lot of ideas. We started with a food idea, coming out with getting food delivered at your doorsteps. Food like stew, soup, stuff. And that was Yendi. The name started with Yendi. Yes. And we moved from there. We also brainstorm on getting the agri sector, providing finance, providing farmers with finance in the agri value chain. We work around that before finally settling on the do-it-yourself test kits.
Not having extensive knowledge in agriculture did not prevent the team of 3 from venturing into a project in soil science.
I am from a finance background. I basically work as a credit officer. And Edna is also from a tech background. Both Moses and Edna have a science background. So going into this competition, none of us had an agric background, but we're determined to learn. We started this program as a learning process, just knowing what is happening in agric.
With their sample almost ready, Soil Solutions is all set to wow judges at the final pitch event in October.
We are done with the design on how the kit should be like, the various parts of the kit. Yeah, we must have a spatula, the container, the reagents, the content of what the farmer should do.
According to a 2015 report by the Alliance for a Green Revolution in Africa, AGRA, about $4 million worth of food is lost due to soil deficiency. This simple do-it-yourself test kit will hopefully come in handy and prove useful to smallholder farmers across the country.
The Ghana Investment Promotion Center has lauded the Bank of Ghana's efforts at ensuring sanity in the banking sector. This comes after the merging of some 5 defunct banks to form Consolidated Bank Ghana. In an interview with Joy Business ahead of this year's awards, banking awards, CEO of GIPC, Yofi Grant, assured that ahead of this year's Club 100 awards, his outfit will carry out all necessary investigations before shortlisting any bank.
Bank of Ghana has been brave and bold to exercise this regulatory overhang. I think it's a very positive signal. And a couple of investors I've spoken to have been very happy with that. That yes, they are doing the right thing and ensuring that people's deposits and the sanctity of the financial system is maintained. So for me, it's a very positive signaling. It's unfortunate that it creates a bit of panic in depositors, but as relates to the most recent development of the Consolidated Bank, I believe that depositors' monies are secured. But it's a good signaling, definitely, because people want to ensure that the rules are maintained, the laws are obeyed, and the right things are done.
And that wraps up the marketplace for today. It's been great having you on board throughout the week. My name is Emmanuel Abuaji. Let's meet again next Monday for more business. Have a good afternoon.